Mahila, so my overnight paper of the horses says pretty peppy is E. Gomez. And that's 5/2 with a 121. And I just wanted to say for the majors, you know, um, the Gomez character is always a good character and always will be. You want to support that character. You want to support the Venezuelans, the Argentinians, the all South Americans, and they're always a good character, even if they're from Canada or they're in a different country. They're always a good character, and they're showing that they're being sporty right now. So they're so shocked that the Caesars are getting healed. Okay, because that is a part of an evil Jack Chick demon that has been defeated. Okay, now I speak as it is currently going on and as prophecy of the Spirit of Jesus, as it will be fulfilled, as the evil is defeated. Okay, and it is right now. What I put on paper of those wickers and all of that Babylon spirit that have been defeated, and the real M. Lorden took note of that, and that's all true. Okay, so just want to be clear: Browns 32, um, Denver 41. And this was today. And the 32 is Egypt. The 41 is Aaron Eckhart. Now, Denver is Ryan Kauth. You need to know this stuff. The McDonald's Decatur Aliens Money Mark ritual got beaten of the Browns. They've got this guy named Jameis. He got out with Dan Tribe, like your mob at a health park, alone, walking. And that's the four beasts before God. That's Dan Tribe, and that's just one way to look at it. But that Jameis, he got out with them, and he was wearing a long sleeve shirt. He was showing his '90s strength. That he's all strength is one body. It's a little different from the Mr. Tackpan straight body up and down, straight spine, which is known as the Vecchio. But and it's not, of course, Notre Dame, but it's a '90s strength where you don't have a whole lot of muscle mass, but you're strong and you can shoot forward. Okay, so that's the Browns 32, the Denver 41. Now, Texans got beat. No, Texans beat the Jaguars. Okay, the Houston Texans beat the Jaguars. So the Jaguars is like BP Earthwatch. Texans is like I don't want to say it's like Ben V because the Texans have never been good in football. The Texans um, used to be the Oilers, and they don't really have the Ben V symbolism. They don't have the Liz symbolism, and they're not Dallas either. So for football, you're not really looking at Texas. What they're doing is not them who lives there, because the Texans is not Jonathan Cluck either. So they're kind of like a standalone just symbol of money and women, because they got the cheerleaders and they got the oil money, and that's shown by Billy Bob Thornton right now, currently. So that was 2320 Psalm I Pay Go 2. They were showing a little bit of what Ben V was looking at, but they don't do it that clearly. From what I see of the Texans, they don't do it, and Dallas doesn't do it either. And but it's different in college because you got A&M, and they go pretty much off what the spirit is of those watchmen. And but they had a big ritual where they did an abomination of desolation where they were showing all the military, all the ROTC that were at the game. and they were like, varsity sawed off the horns. Varsity sawed off the horns, and that's an old thing that's connected to the abomination of desolation. That's just how they did it, and it was against me and Obama. My arm, okay, two masters of the arm system that is 11 of the Joe Pesci flock, okay, so, and that's the end times flock, that is Jedi. So the Bo Chim is the 20. Josh Allen leads Buffalo's burial of San Francisco in snowstorm. I told you Buffalo's going to be good. I told you they were looking good this whole season. I'd like to see them in the Super Bowl. They got a good coach. The coach was talking about the wind factor. The wind. You got the east wind. You got the south wind, north wind, west wind. Okay, the east wind is Isaiah 51, the wind of Moses. Okay, the east wind that brought up the Red Sea. So he was talking about the wind. Their coach was in the snowstorm, and they did a big thing yesterday about the sun being darkened. Was yesterday. They did a big thing about that. The sun being darkened, like for a day that there was no sun. They did a big hack on that, but of course that did not happen. The sackcloth of hair and the Revelation 8 bottom has not happened yet. We've had people that have gotten out in the Michelle Gellar, Sarah Michelle Gellar. That has happened. Yeah, that has happened. We had the big flock that got out with the Isaiah 54, which is the COVID-19 that happened, but you don't have the harpazo is when the dead in Christ rise first, and then everyone else that are alive and remain, they get caught up in a plane left behind scenario where they leave their clothes or whatever, or they just rise up, literally fly. So we'll see. But that's that's canon. Everything I just said is canon. 28 November, Cowboys 27, Giants 20. BG Cody connection, Dak Prescott, the Dacker. You want to shoot for Revelation 14:13. That's big. You need to know that. That's a level up. Seahawks, Marshawn. It's always Marshawn, by the Seahawks, and kind of like what the up and coming Watchmen are doing, like Ryan from OHS, who was on cross country and who went to Gonzaga, and then also the Becca Iscarberza, who lives in Seattle, or at least her family does. I don't know if she lives there now, but and she dated Cody at CUI, and we would all hang out together at Cody's place, and it was like me, Eric Anderson, who's from Colorado, and Kevin, and then the second year it was pretty much just me, going over there to Tustin, and that's where I got my seal from, my dog Shat over there, and at a lawn nearby, and we went to Pizza Shack and brought it to the beach. He was like, "Come on, let's get in the water." That's what my dog was saying, man. My dog was saying that, motioning me. He loved it, man. He loved it, and that's the one time I've been back there, and that was in 2019. So, and they went against the Jets. It was 26-21. Seahawks won. The Jets is like True Detective. You need to know that. It's like True Detective with Matthew McConaughey. That's always the Jet symbolism. And they show, if they're being like whatever the snare is at the time, they'll kind of show that, like Aaron Rodgers or something like that, or like whoever goes there is always like a big deal, like they failed or something, but it's not. It's just showing where the Watchmen are at and where the flocks are currently and who's up and coming and stuff. They kind of do it like that. So they went against the Seahawks, who are kind of like that too. And so Vikings 23, Arizona 22, 1 December. The Vikings is like Kevin Donnelly, Craig Bond, and Arizona is like Tom Rogers, who used to come here. And they also have the cardinal symbolism, which is Louisville. It should just be Louisville, and not even St. Louis. But so anyway, they're kind of like false when they show them with St. Louis and with Arizona. They're like false, they're like false word, false doctrine. So Vikings beat them. So the Vikings were looking kind of strong, like they were being strong armed, like, hey, we're in the picture, like, she gonna throw her hair back, like she gonna be on us, that's what they were saying. Burna Boy, last. You need to know that's like Bobby Kesky, but it's the African connection of Bobby Kesky. His dad was in Independence Day. He's the guy that looks up, and when the tower gets hit, he's like freckled and everything, and he looks just like him. Pick up socks. That's on the way out. The Nan, the Rock. So that's 28 November. Packers 30, Dolphins 17. Burna Boy is a great song, great rapper. Last. I really do recommend that. And that was kind of a while ago, but I just wanted to say it's really a good spirit. And of course, he has his knee in there where he talks about the wife and everything, but it's still a good spirit. So Dolphins is Ace Ventura. It's not a diss. They just had to make the movie. It's not a diss to Jesus. They just had to make the movie, to make a story, and that's how they did it. It's so that's the Dolphins. That's always Christ. And then yeah, that's it. So this paper also says I Get Stormed is Jay Bobroff, and that's a 121 and a 6. Let me make sure it's a 6. So that's just kind of what I just went over with the Dolphins and the Packers, because the Packers they were like cheeseheads, my next door neighbors in Copperfield. And that's about it. Thank you. Have a good night.